Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today with another tag, and this is a VR to Nova's tag at Nova Monday Tarot, and it is the hashtag collectors mass market must-haves. There are 13 prompts. I'll put timestamps in for the video because otherwise it will get even longer, won't it? And two of the prompts, I've changed because I didn't have any decks that I felt really worked for that prompt, so I've changed two of them. So without further ado, we will get on. So the first prompt is an oldie but goodie, and if you know me well, this probably won't be a huge surprise to you. It is the Robin Wood Tarot, and this is quite an old deck, isn't it? I don't know how old it is. I mean, the copyright is 91 here. I bought this used off eBay, but I'm pretty sure that you can still buy this. Yeah, oh, I didn't check that. I checked that for quite a few of the decks, but I didn't check it for this one. I'm pretty sure you can still buy this. I don't think it's out of print. I love this deck. I'll try not to show you the nudity in the deck. There is a fair amount. I just really like it. I really like her artwork. I think that this is a lovely deck to have in anyone's collection. You know, it's a very, very easy reader. You know, following Rider-Waite-Smith imagery very closely. The colour palette is just nice. I just like everything about it. I think it's a very gentle and sweet deck. And yeah, it just reads really, really well. I do hope this is still in print. Otherwise, I think you can buy second-hand copies of this very easily on eBay and other such places. I didn't have any difficulties finding a copy of it. And you know, when I first bought it, I was convinced that it was a deck about Robin Hood. You know, Robin of Sherwood. But it's not. The creator's name is Robin Wood, and this is her artwork, which I just think is beautiful. I really like it. I mean, look at that. Look, that's so sweet. So yeah, that is my oldie but goodie. So the second prompt is a RWS deck, and I don't actually have many of those. I have the Radiant Tarot, I have the Radiant Wise Tarot, I have a very old Universal deck. I've got other sort of ones that are very similar, like the Before Tarot and the After Tarot and Tarot of the New Vision. I've got quite a lot of them, but I think the deck that sprang to mind for this prompt really is the Centennial edition of the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, and this is just, you know, this is my favourite out of all of my Rider-Waite-Smith decks, really, just because I love a deck in a tin. And these are just such cute little cards, really nice little backs. I like the size of these cards, if I'm honest. A lot of tarot cards for me are too big, and yeah, I just really like this. You know, this can be put in your bag, it can be taken out with you. I just think it's a really nice deck for a collector, really. Out of all of the easily available Rider-Waite-Smith productions that are out there. So yeah, again, nothing too exciting. I don't have any real, you know, when I was looking at Nova's video to do this, I had a little moment of panic really and thought I couldn't do this tag because I don't really have a lot of rare or sort of historical decks particularly. But I think that this is a good deck for this prompt. So it is the Smith-Waite Centennial edition. Okay, so the third prompt is a non-Marseille pip deck, and I actually don't have any Marseille decks at all. So again, I had a little bit of a panic and thought, oh my word, what am I going to choose? But I did find that I've actually, and I'm actually not a big fan of pip decks either. I don't mind decks that are a bit pippy, but not real pip decks. But I did find that I'd got 4 decks actually that were pippish. And the one that I've chosen is the White Sage Tarot, again in a tin. This is by Teresa Hutch by US Game Systems. It's such a cute little deck, and I think that this is really a really nice deck as well because it follows the chakras. You get these really nice little cards that are quite helpful. It's just such a cute, soft and gentle little deck. The white book that comes with it is actually pretty good as well. There's quite a lot of information there. But yeah, you can see what I mean. Let's put that down a little bit further. It's not a full-on pip deck, is it? But it's extremely pippish. There's not a lot of information in the cards. The cups are cups, you know, multiples of cups. Stacked cups, tipping cups, all sorts of cups. But what's nice about this that adds another layer to it is the colours in the cards. Like with the 7 of Cups here, we have green, and green is obviously your heart chakra. Blue with the 9 of Cups here is your throat chakra. So that kind of gives you another layer to the reading, doesn't it? And that runs across, and you see with the pentacles, we literally just have pentacles with different coloured threads running through them. Same with the wands. And we've got swords here as well. The majors in this deck, you actually get quite a nice image. This is a really nice deck to read with, to be honest. Yeah, with the swords, we get the swords with the colours. So you can see what I mean. It's a really nice little deck. And the reason why this has lasted in my collection is because I think it has an extra layer to it. If it was just literally cups or pentacles, I don't think it would really be of interest to me. But I think it's a very sweet little deck. Okay, so prompt number 4 is a Marseille style tarot deck. And I genuinely don't have any, I don't think, anyway. I've had a good look through and I honestly don't think that I have got any Marseille style tarot decks at all. So I've changed this prompt to cat decks because I have, I think, 12 cat decks. So that's what I've changed it to. And out of all of the cat decks I've got, and this is by no means my favourite, but I think this is probably the deck that people, if they were collecting decks, might want to choose. And I'm pretty sure that you can still buy this. I checked on Amazon and I'm pretty sure that you can still buy this. And it is the Tarot of the Cat People. And I've got a very old edition here. As you can see, I bought this used again on eBay, but I think you can buy it in a kind of newer edition. This is an old deck. I was just looking to see who it's by, but can't see. Karen, oh, I'm not going to pronounce that, am I? So yeah, this is not my favourite cat deck, but I think given the style, where are we? We're all upside down, aren't we? I just think it's a deck of its day, isn't it? And I really like the clothes in this deck, actually, more than the cats. I just think the style of this deck is just amazing. The reason why it's not one of my favourites is purely and simply down to I don't find it that easy to read with, and most of the decks in my collection are decks that I'm happy to sit and read for anybody with. There's not many that I would really struggle with, but for some reason this one doesn't speak to me to read, but I like to look at the cards, and I like to look at the colours and the clothes and the fashion styles, and it's got a feel of like Klimt to me, Gustav Klimt, you know, with all of this sort of mosaic-y type, I don't know if that's the right word, but the style, the patterns of some of the clothes, and some of the cats are funny. And this one here up with the cups, I mean, and him, look, they are cute. It just doesn't speak to me really for readings particularly, but maybe that's just because I haven't spent enough time with it. It's entirely possible. But I do think that this is a collector's deck. I think that if you like cat decks particularly, this is one to have, isn't it? So there we go, Tarot of the Cat People. I didn't have an instruction booklet with this, nothing came with it. Yeah, it says it blends tarot symbolism with the imagery of science fiction and fantasy. I don't know where my little booklet is. That could be somewhere else, actually. I sometimes take the white books out of these decks and put them in another tin, so that's probably where it is, actually. Okay, so prompt number 5 is an underrated artist deck, and I got quite a few actually, because I do like you know, nice artistic decks, so I've got quite a few, but I came up with this one, Pamela Steele Wizard Tarot. You don't see this deck too often on YouTube. I'd seen it on Simon at the Hermit's Cave Tarot, and I wasn't even aware of it until then. Let's take the book out. Do you know, I don't know whether she hand painted or drew, or what does it say? It says in the guidebook, where is it? Pamela performed every step of the design, rendering, writing, funding, packaging and promoting of the Steel Wizard Tarot herself, a merciless and humbling task. And this was in 1999, I think, the first edition of this. No, well, it says the first edition of this pack bears 2006 as the publication date, but that doesn't reflect the preceding years of dedication, creativity and enterprise that began in October of 1999. So she created this deck from scratch herself and did everything, I think. And it's an amazing deck. I mean, I can't remember how many cards are in the deck. 88 card deck. It says it's the language of the soul. The guidebook that comes with this is amazing. That's the backs of the cards. I really like this deck. This is a lovely reader, actually. I've done some readings for myself with it, and the extra cards that come with this deck are quite interesting. Her artwork is beautiful. It's a really nice deck, to be honest. The cards are nice. I mean, it's a huge, big, chunky deck, as you can see. I like the colour palette. The people, the faces in it are quite strange. It's a bit like at the Anna Kay Tarot, isn't it? That everyone says the faces are a bit weird. But I find that it reads really, really well. I don't know whether she's created anything else. I would imagine after 6 years of creating this, it's probably enough, wasn't it? But see, there's one of the extra cards, I am. And I think the court cards, there might be like 5 court cards for each suit as well. I mean, she's really reimagined the whole sort of creation, really. And yeah, I really like it. It's a really nice deck. And I think she is an underrated artist, you know. Like I said, you don't see this tarot deck very often on YouTube. Okay, so I think for this prompt, the underrated, what is it, a deck by, sorry, I'm getting confused with the prompts here. So I've also got written down here, and I don't know whether it was part of the underrated artist deck, but this is a deck using a renowned, no, this was prompt number 7, sorry. So for prompt number 7, you could either have a deck using a renowned artist's work or a deck by a renowned artist, and I'm going to show you both. So this is a deck by this is where's the deck gone? Oh, there it is. So sorry about that. This is a deck using a renowned artist's work, and this is the Klimt Tarot, which I absolutely love. Gustav Klimt's artwork. He is one of my favourite artists ever, really. And this is a nice little deck. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. It's got the kiss on it. Look how beautiful. Can't remember her name. But yeah, it's a really nice deck. If I'm honest, I wish there were more of the artworks that I kind of recognise that I have hung around my home. There's a lot of very rare artworks in here. There's a little bit of nudity. I think she's called the Dancer. That's a beautiful card. I have a lot of I mean, all his artwork of women was always beautiful, even though they were kind of strange because the proportions of the bodies were kind of wrong, but always beautiful. And I loved all his spirals and triangles and all the gold leaf. And so I've got quite a few of bits of his artwork around. There's another bit of nudity. But I particularly like his landscapes or his trees and woodlands and gardens. And, you know, I've got one with a big sunflower and lots of flowers, and another one of beech trees. And I don't think they're represented here in this deck, but yeah, he is one of my favourites. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. It's a really sweet deck. I've got, what else have I got? I've got one of mermaids. The kiss is beautiful. I used to have that, but I actually gave that to my son. Yeah, this is the mermaids one. All the gold leaf on the cards is lovely. Yeah, it's a beautiful deck actually. Not an easy reader particularly, but a beautiful deck. So that is a deck using a renowned artist's work. And then all as part of this prompt, prompt number, do you know, I've got mixed up with the prompts, I'm not sure. But this is a deck by a renowned artist. And this is the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot by Tourian. And I also have her Tarot of the Abyss, which you will have heard me talk about at length. So that's why I'm not showing that deck. I'm showing this one. This one I just received in the last few days, as it's just been published, and it's gorgeous. This is the back of the cards. I mean, Anna's artwork is just astounding. I've already been playing with this deck and doing some readings for myself, and yeah, it's just lovely. I think the Tarot of the Abyss is still my favourite at this point, but I think this is a lovely deck to have in your collection. I really do. I've seen people comparing it to the original sort of indie version, and this is just as lovely. Yeah, I don't know how I've managed to get the prompts mixed up in my head. 6, yeah, that's because I did 6 and 7. Oh well, I'll sort it out when I do the timestamps. So yeah, this is beautiful, isn't it? So that is prompt number 6. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I think I've sorted myself out with the prompts now. So this is prompt number 7 out of 12. I don't have 13, I have 12 prompts. So prompt number 7 is a deck by a renowned occultist. And again, I thought, oh God, can I do this one? Because I couldn't think. And then I remembered Travis McHenry. I've got 4 of his decks. I've got a couple of little oracle decks, the angel and demon ones, and I've got the madman's, what is it, the magician, madmans and martyrs deck as well. But the one I'm going to show you is the Hieronymus Bosch deck, which comes in this beautiful box. A deck of daydreams and nightmares. This is a rock pool deck, and it says here this tarot deck sets a new benchmark for modern tarot card decks, and it really does, because he's completely changed the structure of the tarot deck, and he's kind of made it his own totally here. It says it's sometimes humorous, sometimes haunting, but always captivating, and that is the truth. When I first got this deck, I tried to do sort of a deck study with it, and readings and pairings and all sorts of things, and I found it very difficult. But it's an amazing deck to look at. Not so easy to read with, but has a really nice guidebook. With the suits, you're getting like the page, the knight, the baron, the prince, the queen and the king, and he's changed all the suits, so you get more court cards than you do any of the numbers, I think. So what have we got? We've got just the ace, haven't we? Yeah. Yeah. So you get berries. Yeah, there's page, knight, baron, prince, princess, queen, king, ace. And then the suits are the berries, birds, skates, swords, vessels, books, coins, and 7 deadly sins. Plus all of the major arcana. So you can see he's changed the structure of the deck a great deal. He's changed the names of many of the major arcana as well, which makes it, you know, really quite a difficult deck to read. But it is a really fascinating deck, and I think it's a good deck for any collector to have, really. If you like artwork and you like historical type decks, this is, and anything a bit weird, this is brilliant. On the whole, it makes me laugh, to be honest. There's lots of demons and strange creatures and lots of weird things going on in this deck. Not many of the cards would you look at and think, oh, isn't that sweet, isn't that nice? Most of them are quite dark, but it's as you would expect from Hieronymus Bosch. I mean, you know, the Garden of Earthly Delights is a strange painting, isn't it? It's a triptych, I think, isn't it? Look at that, look, the Page of Coins. Illumination, look. That's so funny. The Flower Pusher. So yeah, you can see this is a very strange deck. Mistress of Terror, look, the High Priestess. It's a good job he's put some of the keywords on these cards here, actually. I think that really does help if you're trying to read with this deck. Look at the Surgeon, look. That's the Hierophant, isn't it? Health, removal of blockages, unnecessary worry. Page of Vessels, he's got an arrow in his bum, look. It just is a very funny deck. Very funny. Okay, so prompt number 8 is a recent release, a recent mass market release. And I have chosen the Curious Travels Tarot deck by Amelia Rosier. This is a US Games deck. 79 gold foiled accented cards with linen finish and an 84-page illustrated guidebook. And the reason why I've chosen this is because it's just such amazing quality. It's a beautiful deck. It feels lovely in your hands. It reads really well. And you know, I almost didn't buy this because, you know, the box does nothing for me. I'd sort of looked at it on Amazon a few times and passed it by because that image really just didn't do anything for me. But when I actually saw it on somebody else's channel and then bought it, I was just amazed. It is a lovely, lovely deck. It shuffles beautifully. The cards are just, the linen finish on them is lovely. They're a nice size. I used this for my Drop 'em 78 challenge last year, and as a comparison to the El Goliath deck, and I came out of it just loving this deck even more. It's such good quality. The little gold bits on there are really nice, and it just reads really well. It's very intuitive. I don't have a bad word to say about this deck. I love everything about it, and in fact I should get it out and read with it more. Perhaps I'll do one of my week ahead readings with this deck. But yeah, if you've got this deck, you'll know exactly what I mean about it. I think this is the extra card, the Travellers, which is the significator, isn't it? Look at that, look, for Judgment. That's a really cool card as well. I love the black backgrounds on a lot of these cards, all the very dark colours with the gold against it. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about this deck. I would highly encourage you to buy this very affordable quality deck, really, if you don't have it already. That's the Eight of Swords. Yeah, the Curious Travels Tarot deck by US Games. Okay, so prompt number 9 is an underrated deck, an underrated mass market deck. And I've got quite a few I could have chosen, actually, ones you don't see being used too often on TarotTube or even talked about, really. I've chosen 2. The first one is the Spiral Tarot, and this was kindly gifted to me by MZ at Mystic MZ. This is a US Games deck. I know this is one of her favourites, but I've not really seen anybody else using it. It's a very nice little deck. It's a nice size. I like the backs. I should edge it, really, shouldn't I? It's a Celtic inspired deck by Kay Steventon. Yeah, Kay Steventon. I don't know how old this deck is. Probably fairly old. Let's have a look. Copyright 1997. So yeah, that's the year my son was born. So that's what, 28 years old. It's got the astrology on the card, lots of other little symbols and bits and pieces. It reads really well. It's a nice deck. I don't know why it's overlooked. I mean, it's overlooked by myself as well, but it is a really nice deck. Look at that, the Ten of Swords. I think this would be a really nice deck to have in anybody's collection, actually. So yeah, that is the Spiral Tarot. As you can see, it's a nice, easy reader. Yeah, nice deck. And I've got another one to show you as well quickly, because again, you don't see it too often on YouTube. But I think it's a fantastic deck, and I did quickly check on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure that you can still buy it mass market, and there is a guidebook that comes with this deck you can buy on Amazon as well, certainly in the UK. This is the Cosmic Tarot by Norbert, can't pronounce that, and that's AGM Urania, the publisher there, who I've not really heard of particularly before. You can grasp the meanings without knowing the old secret doctrines of astrology, Kabbalistic numerology, and the Tree of Life. 78 cards. It says that the intention of the Cosmic Tarot is to make the old knowledge accessible and understandable by using as few secret symbols as possible. So, I would imagine this is quite an old deck as well. I don't have the little white book here. Again, I think they'll probably put that in a tin somewhere. But this is a really nice, easy reader. I like the artwork. Some of the court cards are based on film stars, I know, which was always really interesting to me. I can't remember for the life of me who they are at the moment, but some of them are quite recognisable, some not so much. Oh, look, they're all ran the wrong way. Like these faces are familiar, aren't they? But I can't think who they are. But I know in the little white book and the guidebook that I've got, it does tell you who these people are. Look at that for the Ten of Swords, look. This is a very easy reader. It's a very sweet deck in many ways. So yeah. Yeah. German creator. There's the one that I recognise. Yeah, Sean Connery. Look, the King of Wands. I don't know if that's Elizabeth Taylor or somebody else, the Queen of Wands. But yeah, as you can see, there is no real esoteric symbology in here. There's no astrology, there's no symbols particularly. It's something that's just easy to read. So yeah, that's an underrated deck, the Cosmic Tarot and the Spiral Tarot. Okay, so prompt number 10 is a deck by a renowned deck creator, and I've chosen Cat Black, and I've got her Golden Tarot also, but I'm going to show you the Touchstone Tarot because I really like this deck, probably the most out of the two. She's created these tarot collages from Baroque masterpieces. The central portraits are imbued with subtle facial expressions and nuances that can help the reader intuitively connect with the cards. Familiar Rider-Waite-Smith imagery makes Touchstone Tarot accessible. It's an 80 deck card deck, and I really like this. Again, I don't read with this deck. It's got a nice little guidebook. I don't read with this deck nearly enough, really, given how gorgeous it is. It's beautiful, been gilded nicely, lovely backs. I love the facial expressions in this deck. It is quite funny, actually, some of them. Look at her, look, the Ace of Cups. She's quite happy with herself, isn't she? Yeah. I just really like the facial expressions, the King and Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands. As you can see, it's in pretty much in order. But it's an easy reader. I think it's in order because I showed this in a VR, but because I have definitely read with this deck. Oh, look at her, look, with the Four of Wands with her cat. I have definitely read with this deck. So, the Moon, look, that's a lovely card. Let's put this up very slightly. The Tower, the Three of Cups. You see what I mean? I think this is a very easy reader, considering we just have portraits on the whole, really, don't we? We just have faces. Some of the cards not so much, but like I said, these are all taken from Baroque paintings. I like this kind of art style, really. I like the colours, and look at his face, look, the Page of Coins, he's very serious. The Hermit. Yeah. So like I said, I could have chosen the Golden Tarot, but I like the Touchstone Tarot the best. This is Cat Black. So the next prompt is an important esoteric deck. And again, I was just thinking, well, I'm just really not sure what I've got that I would really consider like an historical, important esoteric deck. And the only one that I've got is one that Nova has shown in her video, actually. I think is probably her Oldie but Goodie, or one of her pip decks. But it is the Tarot of the Witches. And this is a very old deck by A.G. Muller, US Games. The the reason why I've chosen this as like an important deck, I mean, this is probably my only real pip deck that I have. Like I said, I've got some pippy decks, but this is probably my only real pip deck. I don't read with this very often at all. I have this really as a collector's deck, because this was the deck that was used in the James Bond film, the Live and Let Die film. What was her name? The actress who played the High Priestess in that. Oh dear, I can't remember. But yeah, that film, which must have been in the 70s, was the first time I'd ever seen tarot cards. And I was fascinated by the High Priestess, as was James Bond. But yeah, this is the tarot deck from Live and Let Die. So I have to include it really, because it's my only, what I would consider an important esoteric deck, I guess. As you can see, it's properly pip. The people in it are all funny shapes as well. It is a funny deck, but it was the deck from Live and Let Die. Okay, and the last prompt number 12, is your favourite mass market publisher of collector's decks. And again, this was quite a difficult prompt for me. It's not something I've thought about too much really in the past, but I know that Fournier have a lot of collector's decks. They have a lot of Marseille decks and a lot of playing card decks. And I've actually got, I think, only 2 of their decks, which are the Tarot of Carlo Tides, I think that's how you pronounce that deck, and Tarot Cats. So as Nova showed this one on her video, I shall show you a little bit of Tarot Cats, which is a very, very cute little deck actually. Yeah, this is by Anna Joan, can't pronounce that, as per usual. This is the backs of the cards, which is really nice. I like the size of Fournier decks. They fit nicely in your hand, don't they? This is a really cute deck actually. Oh, look at him, look, the 5 of Cups. You can really feel that, can't you? All those cups there, look. It's a really nice deck. I think I'd seen this actually as well on Emsy's channel, Mystic Emsy. I think she has this deck and likes it quite a lot. So yeah, it's a very, very easy reader. I have read for myself with this quite a lot. And again, I think that this deck is in order, pretty much in order, just because I've used it for VRs and things. But when I first got it, I did read with it a lot. Look at him, look, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, all on his head. It's got such funny faces, the cats in this. Oh, look, the fool, the dog actually biting him, look. Yeah, so yeah, I think that if I was going to choose a publisher, it would be Fournier. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed having a look at my decks, and I'm sorry I got muddled up. I'm going to have to look at my notes and go back and sort the timestamps out for this. I think it's because I've used 2 decks in one prompt and I put them as 2 separate prompts. That's all that it is. But I got myself all muddled up there. So I hope you enjoyed looking. Like I said, I don't have too many like majorly important or historical or rare decks, but I hope I've shown you a good selection of various decks that you will enjoy. maybe some there that you might have, or some that you might consider adding to your collection. So I hope that you enjoyed, and I'm sending everyone my love, and I will see you all again soon.